I've been asked how I installed this tablet mount in my 2025 ZForce 950 Sport Gen 2. So as you can see, I am running an iPad Air in the ZForce. What I wanted was a way to get a larger screen in the machine versus the phone. I also have a phone mount up here as well. I don't normally wear glasses when I ride, and I've become, you know, at my age, you know, farsighted. It happens to the majority of people. So you guys will see sometimes when we're riding, I'm usually running OnX off-road. And on my ATV, you know, it's literally like right there, very close to my, you know, it's on my handlebars. But being mounted up here, even down here, it's kind of in the way if I have a passenger with me. I wanted something a little bit bigger, and so I ended up going with an iPad. The reason why I did is because I'd like to be able to see it a little bit larger without having to wear glasses when I ride. How I mounted this, oh, and by the way, this is a cellular iPad, but it doesn't have any service on it, okay? So right now, let's see, I got the Wi-Fi connected, so it should connect. So what I do, so I didn't have to add cellular to this, because obviously that's another added cost a month, which I really don't want to have to deal with, is I actually connect my tablet to my phone's hotspot, and that way it receives a signal from the phone, and I'm able to keep real time with the maps while we're riding. This is a much better way. I can see this more clearly without having to wear glasses. But I did want the CFMoto mount. It's actually a box that you attach back in the back gully down here in the middle between the two cargo areas. I like that because it gives you some storage, but it's also a stationary way to mount your tablet. The problem I have with this one, and I'll show you guys, is when I mounted this, you see how it wobbles? I was worried that that wasn't going to hold while we're riding, but I got to tell you, I'll show you footage from our ride, and it actually held pretty good. The only problem is it does bounce around a lot. So far, this mount seems to be holding the weight of that iPad pretty good. I even moved the mount back 2 holes to try to lower it so it was down against the dash of the ZForce, and it's still, with the way it cranks down, I still can't get it tight. So, but it still serves its purpose. I mean, it was 40 bucks. I'll post a link to it in the description below. The CFMoto, I think, is like 75 or, you know, close to the $80 range. But looking at that, it does give you an extra storage area, and it also, like I said, makes the iPad lock down and stationary, so it will not move or wiggle while you're riding. All right, so I'm going to show you guys how I mounted this. Bear with me. All right, so this does move up and down. There is an actual lock behind this. I don't know if you guys can see it right here. Does come with a key, so if you're out riding and you don't want to disconnect the iPad, you can lock it. However, all the person has to do is get a screwdriver, pop this off, and they have your unit. But if you look here, I'm going to pop this off. All right, so if you look here, what I did is I actually just drilled, I took the mount itself, this comes off, watch me drop it, and I did. So I actually put the mount a little bit further up here, and this piece is relatively cheap, so you know, if you have to replace it, it's not expensive. But I originally had it mounted here and stuck it out a little bit further, but it really bounced a lot while I was riding. So I ended up moving it back 2 holes just to see where it positioned. And I can always put two bolts in here to fill those holes if I want to. But as you can see, this screws down. I mean, this is like any other mount. This goes on, and then you just tighten this down. Yeah. And then this locks down in. Call me a liar. There we go. And done. It's not pulling off. You guys will see footage of me riding. And then just tighten it up. You know, you can tilt down, tilt up. You can tilt it any way you want. I would definitely suggest putting a pair of pliers on this knob just to get an extra torque on it. Not a lot. You know, that way it's good and tight. The one thing I'm going to show you while I was riding, that these screws here adjust the width for this. This goes up and down, obviously, and then when you have it in place, you can lock it in the rear. But these screws have to be super tight. You'll see in the video coming up that while I was riding, this screw and nut actually backed out and the iPad fell into my legs. We got back to the truck and I ended up finding all the screws, believe it or not. You know, the nice thing about these machines is it's pretty sealed up down here. I was able to find the actual Phillips bolt here, and I found the nut to the mount down in here. Even found the washer, so didn't lose it. I was able to screw it back together, but I never put the iPad back in for the rest of the ride. So for 45 bucks, it's a capable unit. The only problem is, like I said, you have to keep in mind, you can use this for your phone too. If you slide these in, you can put your phone in vertically. The only issue is you have to carry a Phillips with you because you're gonna have to loosen these up to slide these in and out. But there you have it, how we mounted the tablet mount to the 2025 ZForce 950 Sport Gen 2. This is, in case anybody's curious, I have a video out there on our playlist under the ATV upgrades. This is a phone mount that I ended up getting. Grizzly Tom sent it to me, and it actually looked pretty cool. The cool thing is it just clamps right onto your, your handlebars or your, it will not fit roll bars, but it clamps on standard handlebar size, maybe a little bit bigger, for tubes. And this thing does a decent job holding your phone. There's rubber down in the corners here. So this was a cheap way of being able to mount my phone. I ended up actually adding a extra rocker switch here. Well, it's not a rocker switch, it's actually 2 plugs. So it's USB-A and USB-C. And it also gives you the voltage here as well, what you're drawing. I actually hooked that into the connection up under the hood that CFMoto provides, which is awesome. I gotta say, hands down, great job there. And You know, it's the connection block that they have up there. They have battery, they have obviously negative, and they have the key. So this is actually wired to the key. So there you have it, guys. Please, if this find this video is useful, give it a like, give it a share it out to your friends. Drop us a comment. We'll do our best to answer any comments you guys leave. And as always, thank you for the support. We really appreciate it. We just hit 6,000 followers on Facebook, and we're about 3,500 subscribers on YouTube. However, we're about to hit 2 million views on YouTube, so that's a huge accomplishment for us. You know, we've only been in this game for about 3 years, and you know, we hope that everybody enjoys the content. We're looking forward to bringing some more. Hopefully gonna look for another couple places to ride to give you guys a little bit more variety. But I do have a full RNG clutch kit going in this week. I also have mud flap extenders that I just ordered from UTV Direct, because we're going to be putting 1-inch spacers on this as well. So I will say this thing flings mud like a maniac, but stay tuned for that. All right, thanks everybody.